takes place against the backdrop of an art museum that belongs to Seongjin Group, a major conglomerate that holds the reins of the political and financial worlds in South Korea. It is a psychological mystery thriller about the things that disappear when humans become greedy and ambitious for power. Yoon Jae-hee is the head of the Seongjin Cultural Foundation and in charge of operations at Space Jin, the art museum owned by Seongjin Group. She is also the second daughter-in-law of the family that controls Seongjin Group. Believing that poverty is corrosive to love and that a stable income leads to a steady life, she chose to throw away her longtime lover and entered into a marriage of convenience with Young Jun-hyuk, an illegitimate son of Seongjin Group. In order to make her husband the nation's president, she teams up with the future public prosecutor general and goes to war against Seongjin Group. Young Jun-hyuk is Yoon Jae-hee's husband. Although he is a popular anchorman with his own fan club, he hides an inferiority complex over being labeled the illegitimate son of Seongjin Group for his whole life. He laughs at both ambitious people and those who pretend to have no ambition, even as he waits for the day when he can seize the reins of power. A mystery thriller set in an apartment scheduled for reconstruction and tells the story of the search for the truth behind a sister's disappearance. Along with suspicious neighbors who hide their greed beneath ordinary looks, the secrets that are gradually uncovered will deliver realistic fear and strong suspense. GNA is a hotel employee who is tracking down her older sister's disappearance. Although she appears to have a smooth-sailing life, she is a figure who is filled with a great sense of inferiority on the inside. Following the news of her sister Ji Hyun's disappearance, GNA returns to her family's house, which is known as the Rose Mansion, only to be swept up in an unexpected situation. Violent crimes detective Min Soo will be the only one to believe in GNA's words and help her. As a stubborn man of action who has to see through to the end of a case once he gets hooked on it, Min Soo will help GNA unearth the truth behind Ji Hyun's disappearance. Although he appears to be a reliable and strong man, Min Soo also possesses secret darkness that no one knows about. The story of three siblings and a mysterious stranger who wants to escape their frustrating lives. Set in Sanpo village, a place where usually the influx of people leaving is higher than the ones moving in, there lives the three Yum siblings, Chang Hee, Mi Young, and Ki Young, who all want to escape from a life that is clogged up with no answer. One day, a mysterious man named Mr. Gu suddenly moves into their neighborhood. He is a drunkard, degenerate, and looks like he has many burdens and secrets. His cautious personality and preference to remain in his own business made him the talk of the town, leading even the timid Mi Young, the youngest child of the three siblings, to approach him. After being jobless for 3 years, Choi Jun-woong decides to take his own life and goes to a bridge to jump off of it. However, he finds someone else there who is also about to jump off the bridge and gets into a fight trying to save them. In the fight, the two of them accidentally fall off the bridge. A crisis management team run by Grim Reapers belatedly arrives at the scene, and Choi Jun-woong ends up falling into a 3-year coma with his soul having escaped his body due to an error caused by the Grim Reapers. Now a soul who is half alive and half dead. He unexpectedly gets a job at the crisis management team at the most prominent company of Grim Reapers in the underworld. His job at the team involves taking special care of people with high risk of suicide and helping them want to continue living. Genres: action, drama, fantasy. Release date January 6, 2022. Yoon Ah-hee is a high school student, but she supports herself and her younger sister by working part-time jobs. She doesn't know where her parents are. Her father was driven away from home because of debt collectors. And her mother then left home. Even with her poor financial situation, she is able to rank near the top at her school academically. She also has a pretty appearance. Yoon Ah-hee wants to become an adult as soon as possible. To have a stable job. Meanwhile, her classmate is Nail Deung. He regularly competes with Yoon Ah-hee to receive the top grade, but they begin to have feelings for each other. One day, Yoon Ah-hee meets magician Lee Yul at an abandoned amusement park. He puts on magic shows to people who tell him they believe in magic. He is a mysterious person, but he comforts Yoon Ah-hee, who told him that she believes in magic. Follows the bizarre things that happen when a third-rate lawyer coincidentally takes charge of a murder case and digs deeper into the hidden truth. It is a record of the battles faced by a lawyer of the lower middle class, who must become more evil than the villains in order to protect himself and his family and punish the bad guys in a world full of conspiracies and greed over power and capital. Park Chang-ho, a lawyer who was never successful to begin with, and eventually ends up reaching a win percentage of only 10%. Those around him call him a big mouth for talking grandiosely but showing no substance. He is so badly off that he can't afford to pay the monthly rent for his office nor pay his office manager, who is also his father-in-law, on time. Go Mi-ho, who is Park Chang-ho's wife and the person who made him a lawyer. She was graceful and reserved during her college days, but she has now become extremely bold and foul-mouthed. A detailed melodrama that tells the story of a woman who makes the wrong choice in life and lives for the wrong kind of success. After she falls in love with a certain young man, she changes the direction of her life and learns to properly love herself. It is a love story that is described as painful yet exciting and cold yet warm. Gong Chan, a freshman at Soojung University's law school and the owner of a bar. He met Oh Soo-jae in the past when he was falsely accused of a crime. After serving time in jail for a crime he didn't commit, He is cleared of the charges and reunites with Oh Soo-jae at the law school where she is an adjunct professor. An apocalyptic thriller that takes place in a time in which infectious diseases have become the new normal. In a newly constructed apartment in a large city where the higher floors are up for general sales and the lower floors are rented out. The drama depicts the subtle psychological battle and the class discrimination that occurs. The city hits rock bottom when an impending apocalypse hits in the form of a new type of infectious disease in which people suffer from unabated thirst. Yoon Sae-bom grew up in an unhappy household. She is decisive and has fast judgment. And she's the type to put things into action as soon as she puts her mind to it. Her motto is to live comfortably in the complicated world, but she's actually a character who can hold a grudge. Yoon Hee-hyun is a violent crimes detective and the female lead. Yoon Sae-bom's former high school classmate, friend, and fake husband. In high school, he drove his baseball team to victory at the high school baseball league, and was selected in the second round of the Major League Baseball draft. However, he had to quit baseball due to a knee injury. And it was Yoon Sae-bom's sympathy and bravery that helped him get back on his feet. Han Tae-sok was an information agent while serving in the military, and after being discharged, he worked as an executive at a pharmaceutical company. He is the perfect person for a position dealing with infectious diseases. Lee Soojung is a senior-year college student, majoring in Korean language education. Due to the fact that her mother gave birth to her at the early age of 18, then dropped her off at her grandmother's house, Soojung was raised to protect her virginity at all costs. However, due to an honest mistake during a hospital checkup, she's suddenly informed that she's pregnant. Han Ji-hoon is the heir and owner of the Marbella Hotel. He is a good-looking character with an average personality, and is said to be the typical bad guy. He is married but will be single soon. However, he also carries scars from overcoming cancer in his past. About the work and love lives of people who work at the Korea Meteorological Administration, Korea's National Weather Forecast Service. Jin Hak-young is an intelligent and highly organized individual who does everything by the book and is fastidious about keeping her personal and professional lives separate. Due to her cold demeanor, she has few friends at work and has become an outsider by choice. Lee Shi-woo, a free spirit who is always thinking outside the box. Although he can appear clumsy, he boasts an impressive IQ of 150 and is able to achieve anything once he sets his mind to it. However, in spite of his intelligence and abilities, all he cares about is the weather. Han Ki-jun is a handsome and quick-witted character with a silver tongue. Using his formidable powers of persuasion, Han Ki-jun eventually gets scouted by the spokesperson's office. After struggling in the early days of his career at the service. However, because he has lived his entire life as a model student, he has a hard time dealing with failure. Soojung is a daily weather reporter. Although she went into her job with lofty dreams of breaking news, exciting scoops, and on-site reports, Soojung was ultimately assigned to the weather and lifestyle team. While she was initially disappointed by the assignment, she eventually comes to grow fond of her job. Genres: romance, drama, melodrama.